Well then, here we are again. It's been quite a while, I think. I don't even remember how long, but I've been meaning to jump back into this for a while now, and I think, what better occasion than this? The anniversary of Cultist Simulator. So let us waste no more time and jump in. The wood grows around the walls of the mansus. As any student of histories knows, the mansus has no walls. Christopher Illipoy, traveling at night. The Beyond has been treating me, well, intermittently well, intermittently otherwise, but I suppose that's what you would call life. But this flesh vessel of mine has recently completed a major milestone in its mortal life, so now I finally have some disposable time again to devote to these passions. Also, have I turned off the music? Ah. Just very quiet for some reason. Let me fix that. Better. All right then. Where were we indeed? I have not played this game for quite some time, much less this save as much as I've been wanting to. So I suspect I'm going to need a little while to refamiliarize myself with these old cards. Mortal frustrations, what hungers drive me. Temptation, remembrance, the cool wind that blew when the sun was red and low, the voice the waves once used, the shapes that loped beside us in the snow, all crushed by the flat grass of time. I must revisit what was lost. Indeed. Playing as the medium, one of the DLCs for Cultist Simulator, one that I have not finished a playthrough yet, so for just this playthrough I am somewhat blind. We have started an expedition to the Forgotten Mithranale. Curiosity seekers have picked over this ancient temple, but there may be a hidden door here somewhere. We have our cult, Towers of the Dove, an occult society dedicated to all that has been lost, and what may yet return, dedicated to winter in this case. And we've gained a new Dr. Ibn al-Adim. Dr. Ibn al-Adim, called the Alpine, has an interest in overlooked history. He could use our assistance. Very good, very good. And we have a few acquaintances. We also have a follower. We have this hireling here, fortune teller. 2 acquaintances. Ah, Neville, a believer. Neville pauses before he speaks and flinches easily. He's sensitive to deeper matters. Oh, the music is a little loud. Then let me fix that. Sound, music volume. Is it better? Like so? Very good. Alright then. Let us dream of wood. If I have enough passion, I can walk the dream road to the wood. If I have the right knowledge, I may be able to find the way beyond it. Oh, right. We need passion. Entering the wood. Now I pass between scar-barked trees. The moon passes behind branches. Through her fingers, though her fingers remain in my hair, I am stumbling over roots now. It is tempting to drop to all fours, to avoid the low branches. Pale wings move deep in the night. The others speak little to me, but now they nod when I pass. Here's my pay. We have a heart, one which I would like to soon increase. Mortal frustrations. As yet I have only the needs and desires of any other mortal, but what stirs in me? So we have been given some frustration, some more frustration actually. We should get rid of that. And the second one we can use to our advantage. Do we have winter? Winter. This is a winter cult, isn't it? Yes. Aspect Veneration Winter. This organization venerates the principle called Winter, which we call upon in the names of the Sun in Rags and the Horned Axe, among others. And we sadly don't have any winter lore. Huh. That's a shame. Adim can teach us Aramic. Unfortunately, this book we have here is in Greek, so let us continue our search. Speak of esoteric matters. Talking publicly about the invisible arts will attract attention. Perhaps that's what we want. We call upon the watchman who navigates. Our senses are sharpened. We should find this hidden door. Well, let us hope. And we can turn this erudition into a lesson learned to hopefully sharpen our mind. I've picked up odd facts here and there. If I spend time studying what I've learned, I could increase my reason. A way through the hidden door, very nice. Faint lines in the stone, a surface that yields to pressure. We found it! The hidden door moves with a grating shudder and a shower of dust. Very good. Now, what to do with this restlessness? Not much, I fear. It feels good to be back here. The Mansis, the House of the Sun. Let's try our luck at the well this night. Through the wood. The well in the wood is never dry, but it is never clear. One night it might heave with crawling roots, or another it will pulse with bright moss. On nights of the full moon its waters are choked with fat, dappled bodies of moths. Last night I saw it brimming with dark and viscous blood. Gelatinous shreds drifted on its surface, clots of grail matter. And we have gained an awareness of appetite. Every sense is heightened, every sensation deepened. A second-order influence, so it won't do us that much good, but it's better than some others. Now, what to do with this restlessness? Also great to see this game again. It took me a long time, but I eventually got into it, thanks to your streams back then. Oh, thank you. Didn't have too much time to invest into it so far, but I really enjoyed the mechanics as far as I could figure them out. Yes, that is, in my opinion, the greatest joy, figuring them out. I'll return to the game when I have a bit more headspace for it, and my crippling Monster Hunter addiction doesn't keep me back anymore. Ah, well, the hunt, if it calls, the call has to be heeded. I understand. I, for one, can't wait to plunge into Book of Hours, the sequel to this game that I have bought on launch, but since then have not played even once, because I wanted to do the first time here on stream, which I will after we complete this playthrough of the medium. Then let us dream of the wood again. We have some passion to spare. Ah, dread. Bleak thoughts, dark days. I must be careful not to let doubts creep in. Dread may provoke full-fledged despair, and despair will provoke dread. I've seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes. An existential horror. And now treasures lie before us. The expedition is at an end, or almost at least. Paint. I finished a painting to the excitement of absolutely no one. No one but me. Sometimes paintings will gain you glimmerings. Study them to unlock more advanced painting options. Well, we now have to contend with this dread. How best to rid of it? Well, why not paint again? Actually, no, let's not paint again. We're almost broke. That could have been bad. Yes, and, fun fact, the developers are working on a full-fledged CRPG called Traveling at Night, set in this world, the secret histories, inspired chiefly by Disco Elysium. So that's also something I very much have on my radar. Let us speed the game up a little bit. Exercise the mind. My mind, the library. Nerduition, lesson learned. Let's do the same with these glimmerings. Despair is the wolf that devours thought. We must be careful now. I think after this expedition I shall visit the 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 Club. Fruit of truth. Through the wood, the velvet is strong at the well and in the wood, and the velvet is the hour that keeps secrets. But now and then she lets a little secret fall, like a crumb at a feast. Last night I found a moss-clad rock written all around with the secrets of another history. I might give thanks to the velvet, but it will be wiser not to draw her attention. A detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak this, or you may be overheard. This will aid us to find new places to explore, but for now, we'll stick to the city. The deeper sanctuary, a lonely space, musty with the memory of blood. We have found the hidden door that the highest grades of initiates used. Some funds to sustain us for a short while, though we are very much at the edge of bankruptcy. What else could we dream of? Maybe this will get us some contentment to defeat the despair. What have we gotten? Some notoriety, of course. Some refulgin, a white so pure that it remains visible even in utter darkness. A cracked moonstone, noon, the saying goes, is not what it was. But this stone still retains an embery glow. It has been cracked. A forge-aspected follower could restore it with sufficient resources. Or I could use up what power remains in it. And the illegible line. Manacle, it does not relinquish its grip. Very useful, because of the 8 aspect winter. Alright then. Sadly, we don't have the funds to go to the Dice's Club right away. So, what else is there? Could we use this fortune teller for anything else? I don't think so, but let's speak to him, at least to prolong his service, if only a little. And let's seek out the secret places of the city with this occult scrap. There are places in the city where I can find extraordinary things, if I can sift the clues out of history and rumor. Secret histories are layered beneath the one we know, like notes in rare wine. This is a detail from one of those histories. Oh, and at the same time as the despair, we also have a trembling in the air. The sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Fascination may provoke visions. So let us hope this early night does not yield us more dread or fascination. Either would be quite bad. Feed my imagination. There are more windows in my soul, but sunlight is not the only thing that passes through a window. Let us put this here and this here, and let us now turn to the study of vitality. Exercise the body. I am abrim with vitality. If I devote some time to exercise, I'll benefit. As it is. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I am sane, if that means anything. Yes, the good detective searching for clues. bury this notoriety by using it to paint. And for inspiration, let us use this lesson learned in erudition to preserve it a bit more. Sleep is a long, dark ocean, but sometimes when we reach the further shore, there is lamplight, and if we were lucky, it did give us contentment to quell the despair. I'm happy, I think. What have we discovered? Cater and Hero Limited. It's been abandoned since the explosion when both the owners died. The machines stand silent. The building is a collapsing shell. Mr. Cater was known to display peculiar trinkets in his office. Perhaps some yet remain. The new expedition. And, while we still have access to them, let us send the fortune teller once again. And of course, we'll need some funds. We're pretty hard pressed now, so I hope this artist gig gives us some more. Oh yes, we can also work as a medium. Sometimes I speak in the voices that even I do not expect. Exercise the body. I'm ready to grow stronger. A lesson learned in vitality. And this vitality we'll need for the upcoming season of sickness. An artist's reward. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. How much funds have we gotten? If any at all. That is not good. No funds? Really? Oh. A clandestine consultation. My reputation as a performer is ruined. My reputation as an oracle is only begun. But the authorities have their eye on me. Information. Does that change the outcome in any way? Let us test this. Pray that we do not starve to death. Alright. I can cobble together enough half-truths to satisfy my client, and we have gained one more piece of funds. I don't think we'll have much use for it for the moment. No, like this. And we must breach this treacherous ground to complete the expedition. Pits and quags and sudden tumbles. The earth here cannot be trusted. We will need strong hands or clear sight, forge or lantern. Sucking mud, tricksy fissures, the earth is hungry. We need lantern to show us a way or forge to make one. And so we call upon the watchman who illuminates. He will lend us virtue. He will lend virtue to our lamps, that they will show us the perils to avoid. Probably. Hopefully. Sickness. I've become unwell. Good thing we have this vitality stored over. And now, what can we dream of? Going through the wood again, why not? Of renown. When Mystique has attracted this hunter's attention, they can prove nothing yet, but they'll keep looking for longer now. And the notoriety sticks. But, on the bright side, the expedition is going well. We're safe across the treacherous ground. Mud spattered and thorns scratched, but we've made it through. Some much needed leftover funds. Let us see what happens if we don't use the memory at all. Sickness. The illness has damaged my health. I'll need to rest before I am fully recovered. With funds or vitality, we have very little of the former, so we'll use the latter. But we'll need to dream of it. In our sleep, we can heal. Oh, it's a tight window. This run is quite perilous, I'll admit. Through the wood. I walked in the wood last night, and the scissors worked in the distance, and the furred things crammed my mouth and swarmed my ears. I felt the old urge to drop to wolf fours and nose among the roots. But I remembered that I walk upright by day, and I know fire and steel and words, and at last I found where the velvet had concealed a secret on tree bark beneath moss. I read it then with the tips of my fingers, and I think now that I could write it in full. We've gained another occult scrap. So now, with only a few seconds to spare on the vitality, let us recover. No one stops by my room tonight. It's for the best. I had nothing to tell them. Alright, so we do need some kind of memory. Then let us use this dread, because otherwise it'll become a much bigger problem. considering the evidence. If a hunter has found notoriety, which he has, they will try to use it to create or upgrade evidence. If they're meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail. But they can occasionally create evidence even without notoriety. And we are faced here with the good old wary detective. This gentleman would much rather be left alone with his pipe and his illustrated London news. But no. Apparently, some conjurer of abominations has to be hunted down like a mad dog, and apparently, no one else can find the time. The good old weary detective. We'll find a way to deal with him in time. But for now, he'll remain a thorn in our side. What have we found here? 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞's office. 2 floorboards lift away to reveal a hollow beneath 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞's desk. The rats have made free with the biscuits he stored there against the peckishness which haunts the entrepreneur, but they could not penetrate this iron lockbox. A moment with a crowbar will open it, and inside we find a bronze spintria. Initiates of the hidden world use spintre to pay for services. Bronze spintre usually display the act of shaping on their reverse side. The spintre can be sold for more traditional funds at an auction house. We have a Maravine idol. The Maravine would make little wooden idols to placate the witch twins they feared in their lake. The lake is almost dry now, but the idols and the witch twins yet remain, yet shadowed with the aspect of the heart. Yes, the witch and sister, and the sister in witch, 2 of the hours. Because I think now we shall sell the spintre. What else is there to do? We need the funds. And we've also found Lord Franklin Bancroft, Diaries, 1750 to 1790. The Notorious Journal of a Notorious Gentleman, written in Latin, no doubt for the sake of safety. I've been paid my fee. It's difficult to say whether I earned it. Fortunately, it's difficult for them to say whether I have earned it too. Alright, we're still saddled with that dread. So now let's hide it best we can. Ere the season of despair comes around. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. Tentative evidence. A hunter has found evidence, real or imagined, of my sins. Hunters with evidence of occult activities become more dangerous. Evidence may survive the death of the hunter who created it. And we also have this further proof of this further notoriety that could become quite a problem if we don't deal with it. So, I think we shall recruit an acquaintance by invoking Winter. 𝐤𝐫𝐞, an acquaintance. She is happy in a way that brooks no counter-argument to happiness. Preparations for a D&D session. Well, then don't let me keep you. It was good to see you as well. Funnily enough, I initially planned to start streaming again yesterday, only to be interrupted by my own D&D session that I had admittedly completely forgot, but that's all. That's all old news now. I have taken care to apologize to my fellow players and the Dungeon Master. So, best wishes. Alright then, we shall recruit 𝐞𝐫𝐞 into our society because she has heart aspect, which we can use eventually to rid us of that notoriety. This one is ready. Same goes for Leo, but I think we'll focus on 𝐞𝐫𝐞 for now. And we've healed our health. Very good. Less good is the fact that we could not avoid the bleak thoughts going into despair once more. A bit of a problem. But on the upshot, there's energetic bidding at the auction. Some of the audience are on their feet now, passions are rising. We'll be able to get quite a few funds for this. What is this? Miss Nania, a painting of a dark-skinned woman with snow-colored eyes and close-cropped ivory-colored hair. She stands before a small marble tomb overgrown with star jasmine. The painting is signed Jonas B. Munch, 1811. One second, allow me to refresh my throat a little bit. Ah, that is much better. So now, what can we do next? We can paint. With our mystique and our notoriety. And study. What can we study? This is glimmering, this is Arduition, but it's about to decay, which isn't great. Ah, but this, on the other hand, we can use freely. Dreams, what can we dream of? Maybe with our health, we can gain some more contentment. I will speak only and exactly 9 words. The novice will speak none at all. 𝐞𝐫𝐞 is now a believer. 𝐞𝐫𝐞's determined happiness now borders on the fanatical. And let us waste no time to promote her to a disciple. My follower will kneel a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. What is this? Formula. Elixir 𝐰𝐴𝐴𝐴. 𝐰𝐴𝐴𝐴? Who knows? I have a secret, a recipe of honey, asphodel, powdered ivory, and a mottled fungus that grows only where the dead are buried. It's lore, knowledge of the invisible arts. Interesting. The auctioneer's gavel bangs. My item is sold, and it has earned us 6 funds. A much needed buffer. Something I believe we can now use to visit the 𝐿𝐴 Club at last. To get some contentment, hopefully. The entrance is lost beneath soft drapes of crimson, cinnabar, and incarnadine, sorry. Above the door, the club motto, Ingirum imus nocte et consumimur igni. It has been rendered as, into the night's circle we fly, until the fire enjoys us. And contentment. A wounding consummation at the 𝐿𝐴 Club. A dancer pressed a red glass cup to my mouth. Its lip was sharp. My mouth is bleeding, but the wine within was a strong wine. That sounds like a grail. Oh, and ample funds from our latest efforts as a painter. Very nice. So what next to work on? What next to work on? Why not paint once more? Using the notoriety. Some mystique. And a dash of passion. Yet more restlessness. Bit of a danger here. But I believe we now have what it takes to improve our reason. Exercise the mind. Wiser. Knowledge is a city wall built stone by stone. But what waits in the darkness beyond the walls? Why would we need a fortress, except that we had something to fear? 2 lessons learned in Erduition should be all it takes. Let's send Neville to search the city. An early night. Sometimes I have dreamt of a tall woman in a sand-colored coat who stands at the foot of my bed, smiling as she watches me sleep. In that dream, she turns her head with the swiftness of a bird, and her fingers flex like talons. I do not think I dreamt of her last night. If I had, I could not have slept so soundly. I wonder who that woman is. Maybe the vagabond. I'm not sure. Let us place all of this up here. The tentative evidence next to our friend the weary detective. The abandoned warehouse, a potential new place for us to make our home. Professional muscle. Should we go for it? No, not yet, I think. We've also, on one of our expeditions, gained this vital pigment. It is not usual for a red this red to survive the death of the body. And we have a disciple now. Oh, hello, 𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐫𝐞. This is a single-player game, technically a roguelike, though runs are quite a bit longer than the standard roguelike. It's kind of hard to describe. I think the genre technically is a card crafting simulator. You see, these tiles allow me to use these various cards I have here assorted to perform various actions which may transform the cards or net me new cards. The goal of the game is manifold. There are several endings you can achieve, strive for, several fail states. For example, one I have to be careful about right now is amassing too many of these cards. Dread. I've seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes, an existential horror. Amassing 3 of these cards while this event here is active would lose me the game, which I am trying quite hard to avoid. Luckily, Dread can be defeated with this card, Contentment. I'm happy, I think. Contentment defends against Dread, but Contentment doesn't last. Also another thing here, as you see, some of these cards have a timer. Once the timer expires, the card dissipates or transforms. The goal of the game, well, part of it is figuring out what the goal is. After all, we are delving into the world of the occult here, where nothing is quite straightforward. But the ultimate dream usually is to ascend to mortality, become something more. Let's see here. Well, it is strategical to an extent, yes, but overwhelmingly, especially early on, much of the game isn't so much strategizing as it is exploring, trying to figure out how the cards interact with each other, how the game even works. It's quite the experience, because the game, well, it doesn't tell you anything about how its mechanics, how its world functions. So, just as your character is delving into the forbidden world of the occult, so are you figuring out the mechanics, what the cards mean, what their true purpose is, how you can use them. But yes, strategy is definitely a big part of it, trying to balance the different timers, the different processes all happening at once, syncing them together. For example, all of these tiles are currently occupied, so we have a few more others. This one, for example, is Dream. Here, we can do various things related to sleeping or dreaming. For example, we can dream of the way to the wood. If I have enough passion, I can walk the dream road to the wood. If I have the right knowledge, I might be able to find the way beyond it. And so, we start the process. And we provide it with some passion to enter the wood. Now we pass between scar-barked trees. The moon passes behind branches, though her fingers remain in our hair. I'm stumbling over roots now. It is tempting to drop to all fours to avoid the low branches. Pale wings move. deep in the night. Here we have a hireling. We could hire them, but for now we don't have a use for them, so we'll let the opportunity slip by. There'll be others to come. And here we have one of our followers, 𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐫𝐞, a disciple. Her optimism is daunting. She wields her joy like a hammer. She is a disciple of the aspect of the heart, which allows us to use her to charm the public, and hopefully get rid of some bad reputations we have amassed. Mortal frustrations, what hungers drive me. This card here is special. Temptation, a temptation card. This card is basically what we need to evolve to progress through this run. And if we get, and if we increase it to a certain extent, that will be the way of how we beat this run, how we achieve ascension. Temptation of remembrance, the cool wind that blew when the sun was red and low, the voice the waves once used, the shapes that loped beside us in the snow, all crushed behind the flat glass of time. I must revisit what was lost. So eventually we'll be able to use that card to progress further, but for now, I'm just trying to survive while establishing some basic resources, growing the cult. Very nice, some funds. And so, we paint. You never know, this might be a living. Add passion to make distinctive paintings, add mystique and especially notoriety to attract attention and make more money. Be careful, if you use notoriety, exhibiting paintings will keep you in the public eye. Notoriety is this card here. Certain acts are not quickly forgotten. Notoriety is a useful card in some places, but mostly it is quite dangerous. Because a hunter, like this weary detective here, can use notoriety to gain evidence of our activities. And if they amass enough evidence, we are locked away in a windowless cell, never to be heard of again. So, best to get rid of that notoriety as quickly as we can. But also some contentment. That's good. So, with this contentment, one contentment card, we can get rid of one of these dread cards. But the other one will stick for now. And our studies are complete, so we now can study something new. I will study this glimmering. My emotions run higher than usual. There are things I'll never understand, but those things will always be precious. But just now, I'm closer to them. And if we study it together with another glimmering, we can feed our imagination to increase our passion down the line. These three cards, health, reason, and passion, are basically our three stats and also health pools, also displayed here at the bottom, along with our funds. If all of our health cards are destroyed, we also die in the a death of the body, not of the soul, but death all the same. Reason and passion are used to work jobs, like painting, for example, which with a bit of luck can get us funds. funds. We for one need to survive, because every 60 seconds this hourglass consumes one of them. But that we can also use, for example, to explore this shop, Morland's shop, the dim premises of Miss Morland, who deals in rare and sometimes dangerous books. Maybe we'll find something good. It takes time, though, to sort from the gold from the dross, to the wheat from the chaff, the blood from the water. If I buy enough books, I'll hopefully find something interesting. And this is the other portion of the game, the House of the Sun, also called the House Without Walls, or the Mansus. We can walk it in our dreams and glean from it certain secrets and influences. For now, we've only penetrated the woods growing around the walls of the Mansus, though of course, as every student of history knows, the Mansus has no walls. But if we progress through the game a bit, we can also pass through its various doors to gain access further into the Mansus, where greater secrets lie. This time I will go to the well, and there we find a peculiar rumor. So many things rise from the well in the wood. Last night it was a swarm with wormy roots. The trees clustered and whispered. Perhaps they were welcoming the influx. I found a sleeping soul ensnared in the roots and helped them struggle free. When they wake, they will recall my face as I do theirs, and we have gained a peculiar rumor. This might lead me to someone I need, or it might mean something else entirely. We can explore this rumor to follow up on it, but doing so will gain us even more notoriety, which we want to avoid. And now that our dream tile is freed up again, we can dream of this dread and contentment to clear our minds. The two cards annihilate each other, and we have only one dread to deal with afterwards. Earnest speeches, affable conversation. The standards of daylight society cannot apply to us. But perhaps we won't emphasize that point. Perhaps we'll rely on charm and good humor. I've supplied elegant platitudes about the high principles of our organization. Our heart follower here, 𝐤𝐫𝐞, will hopefully get rid of some of these reputation cards, such as this mystique, and hopefully eventually the notoriety. And we've fallen ill. Not the best timing, but when is it ever? We have found a noteworthy book, Kittling Ripe and the Moldy Rap's Grave, and Other Stories, a lusciously illustrated tome of loosely connected children's stories collected by one N.K. Field. Few of them are remotely suitable for children. If we have time, we can study this book to glean its secrets. Another day painting. Yet more mystique. We can also paint in our own time to get rid of this restlessness. And we've gained another contentment with which we can get rid of this dread. I think we'll send Neville here, one of our followers, out again to search the city. Crowded thoroughfares by day, a fog-wrapped labyrinth by night. I'll set my minions to searching for opportunities in the city. Earnest speeches, affable conversation. Optimism is the spice which saves. Mystique is no longer a thing, and with a bit of luck, if we do the same thing again, this time it may get rid of this notoriety for us. Though which card gets destroyed with this charming business is random, so the chances are not exactly in our favor. It's more likely that one of these Mystique cards gets destroyed, but with each of them that we get rid of, the chances of grabbing the notoriety and getting rid of it increase. Now, what else can we study? Glimmering. Studied together could increase our passion. I think that's the route we'll take. Once we have enough lessons learned, gained through this method, we can increase our total amount of passion cards. An overlooked place. Our follower here might have found somewhere unusual. Streets strange by moonlight. Sometimes the light of the moon is a key to other spaces. I found a place where, for a night or two, the streets curve in unfamiliar ways. If I walk there, I might find insight. Or I might be touched by madness. So now let us explore these streets, so strange by moonlight. I wonder, what can we do with this? Can we dream of? No. Yes, let us rid of this dread. To cure our sickness. Now, the good detective here is, to our chagrin, searching for clues. Not good at all. If they find this notoriety, we're in serious trouble. Let us make this notoriety inaccessible by using it to paint. What have we discovered here? Streets strange in the hour called the Menacate. Visions pass me with a pavane grace, a window over a wood, a great garden of ice, a shivering sun, a woman of glass. I'll return home with reluctance, gain some contentment. Very nice. More lessons learned and glimmering. For to feed our imagination with. We could spend some funds to improve or to buy exotic paints, but I find it's usually not worth it. dream of our affliction with vitality, we can heal our body. Due to this being quite the emergency, I think what we'll do is relocate. That will get rid of this notoriety, assuredly. And we'll move to this abandoned warehouse, a rotting shell beside a rotting river. Who would follow us here? We'll move our organization's headquarters to a new location. We can't return, but at least this gets rid of notoriety. I try to save these relocations for emergencies, but this is one of those. Yes, a change of premises, the trail goes cold. And now, in the meantime, we can work as a medium, using memory. This one, perhaps. Hold on. What else can we use here? Fleeting reminiscence. And not much else, it seems. Contentment is not a memory. Alright, then. Funds. And we're healed from our affliction. Let's get one more of these lessons learned. And what to do for work? I think we could use our reason to find clerical work. Work which will spare our body, if not our mind. Glover and Glover have offered me a junior position. I start at 8 sharp tomorrow morning. And now we have a new card here, a junior position at Glover and Glover. My intellect should be put to better use, but the pay is better than laborer's work. This card has a timer, so we'll have to attend this job regularly, or risk losing it. Let's apply some extra effort. Why not? We have new premises. A darkened warehouse. The rafters are rank with rats. The smell is almost lost beneath the reek of the river. It's a long way from anywhere anyone would want to go. All these things are, in their way, advantages. A more remote hiding place for our society. Which is very much not a bad thing. Now that we have a little bit more breathing room, let us also promote Neville here into a disciple using the 𝐰𝐴𝐿𝐴 manacle, which has an influence of 8 in the aspect of winter, which will help us perform the necessary ceremony. Invoking winter to promote our believer. And let us also use this occult scrap to seek out secret places of the city. There are places in the city where I can find extraordinary things, if I can sift the clues out of history and rumor. And, as we're not dreaming right now, let us return to the wood. Another lesson learned and glimmering. How many more do we need for improvement? One more lesson learned. A promotion! Mr. Alden, the supervisor of records, has called me into his office to recognize my diligence. I watch the mole on his neck as he talks, and talks, and talks. But at the end of it, I have a promotion. My new position is better paid, and the desk stands by the street window, but I work directly for Mr. Alden now. Mr. Alden is known to be exacting. Better pay now, but the demands of our job have also increased. A position in records under Mr. Alden. I earn a little more, I stay a little later. Mr. Alden always watches me closely. Mr. Alden might be an obstacle in our progress. An obstacle that we might be able to rid ourselves of. One second. I shall douse my throat with some more of water. Ah, much better. And Neville is now a disciple. Now you shed your blood as the sun's blood was shed. Now your past is divided from your future as the wolf was divided. You are not born, your service ends only in dissolution. Arise in silence. Neville now is a disciple, his gaze has grown fruitive and his voice is sometimes shrill. He speaks freely of his dreams. Some other acquaintances here that we can also recruit into our society. Pope Clifton here, for example. An acquaintance, a bellowing and unorthodox Catholic with a mystic streak and an untrimmed beard. He may be of use to us. This one is ready. And we've found a new place to launch an expedition to. Strathcoyne's residence. The house of Mr. Strathcoyne, a collector of rare objects. Strathcoyne will not sell his treasures, but a sufficiently cunning accomplice might gain entry. But this expedition will have to wait a little bit. There's certain other things we need to get out of the way first. Let's send Neville again to search the city. Maybe he'll find some hired help. Back in the wood. This time I think we'll go to the Temple of the Wheel. And we find the Fountain of Truth. Through the wood. In my sleep I came to the high jagged rock which is still called the Temple of the Wheel, though the hour called wheel is long extinct. Another hand had scratched a secret in the black lantern on its flank. I burned that secret into my memory to preserve for waking, before the velvet came out of the velvet wood depths and erased it. The velvet is jealous of her secrets. And we have gained a fruit of truth. A detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak this where you may be overheard. Exploring with this scrap of knowledge may uncover secret location in the Shires. We'll put it to our other fruit of truth. There are several tiers of occult lore, with the aspect of secret histories, of any aspect really. But with each tier of secret histories lore, we can find locations further and further away from the capital where we live. And we have a new recruit. I will speak only and exactly 9 words. The novice will speak none at all. Pope Clifton is now a believer. He now improvises new prayers rich with solar metaphors. He still shouts like a soldier and drinks like a sailor. This follower is of the aspect of lantern, quite useful. And so, let us right away turn him from a believer into a disciple. We have once again found streets strange by moonlight, but I was looking for something else, so we'll send Neville out again. Work overtime at Mr. Alden's insistence. I do not believe you have properly understood the importance of our work here. This task will require your full attention. We need to add reason to satisfy Mr. Alden. The work is complete when I have assessed the work as complete, and not before. I trust we understand each other. Yes, Mr. Alden, we understand each other for now. We have found a hireling, a hulking fellow. We were looking for a hireling, but not this one. A hulking fellow, I get the job done. This hireling may be useful for some expeditions and can help with hunters and annoyances. And we do have an annoyance, don't we, Mr. Alden? But this hulking fellow probably won't be enough to get the job done. He only has an aspect of 3 edge. 5 would be better. So we'll keep looking. And at last, we have 4 lessons learned in glimmering. And with a barber's warning, a lore fragment of the aspect of the moth. A power of the wood enjoys the separation of the lock from the scalp. For attention, burn it. For opportunity, bury it. Speak this over a corpse in a rite, with a winter influence present, and the corpse will arise. And so, with this barber's warning, we exercise the imagination towards unreason. Cut my hair, cut my buns, cut my snip, snip, snip. And only 90 more seconds and this tentative evidence will have finally decayed, and we won't have to worry about it any longer. On this occasion, I have determined that your work is of an acceptable standard. You may go. Be punctual tomorrow, please. There may be ways to deal with Mr. Alden. Indeed. And deal with him we shall. Once we find the right person for the job. In the meanwhile, let's dream of the good wood again, shall we? Pope Clifton is a disciple as well. Clifton's devotions have grown complex, his eyes have grown wide and shining, his voice has become even louder. And yet he still shouts like a sailor and drinks like a... I forgot the other part. So now, all of our active followers are disciples. We could eventually recruit these other acquaintances here, but instead I would like to find new acquaintances. And to do that, I'll speak of esoteric matters. Talking publicly about the invisible arts will attract attention, and perhaps that's what we want. Sending Neville out once more, hopefully this time finding someone we actually want. Exercise the imagination, unreason. Bring me your answers, and I shall defeat them, but with my questions. Never know. The more. Passion and skill can increase no further. We've now maxed out our passion skill and have accrued the maximum amount of possible passion cards. We'll turn to improving, I think, either our physique or our reason next. I think reason, but in the meantime, let us read 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 Ripe and the Moldy Rap's Grave, the book we found earlier. The protagonist, a speechless cat thing called 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 Ripe, performs a series of elaborate rites to rescue members of her extended family, culminating in the resurrection of her other grandmother, Moldy Warp. Interesting book. We'll read it. And who have we found this time? A shifty woman. Also, not quite who we need. Better luck next time, I suppose. The well this time. The velvet is strong at the well in the wood, and the velvet is the hour that keeps secrets. But now and then she lets a little secret fall, like crumbs at a feast. Last night I found a moss-clad rock written all around with the secrets of another history. I might give thanks to the velvet, but it will be wiser not to draw her attention. Yet more fruit of truths. We could, if we wanted also, break up these fruit of truths into lore of a smaller value, but I think we'll keep it as it is now, for now at least. And let us now call an early night, going to sleep with our health intact, hopefully getting some contentment. I feel we'll need it soon enough. And again, working overtime at Mr. Alden's insistence. We found an acquaintance. Someone who may be a kindred spirit, but I'll need to win them over. Winning over an acquaintance requires our passion. Come with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The evidence is no more. Expired, and we can breathe a little easier. and we finished reading 𝐻𝐞𝐫𝐞. When the snake witch killed the stag, 𝐻𝐞𝐫𝐞 snatched one of its eyes. When the dry witch killed the sow, 𝐻𝐿𝐼ng stole a cup of its blood. Then she took them to the place of Moldy-Rab lay buried, and she took out her hair, and she began to dance. And from this we gain a wood whisper, a piece of moth lore. Lie awake and listen. The wind speaks in the branches. The house cries out in its sleep. There are roads that chaos rides. Speak this over a corpse in a rite with a winter influence present, and the corpse will rise. But we don't have access to rites yet, sadly. No, well, all in good time, all in good time. So now, since the only other books we have are in Greek and Latin respectively, which we would need to translate first, let us turn to studying our reason, reading whatever is to hand. The word is awash with printed words. Even the newspapers contain knowledge. Sometimes. An early night, and we gain a fleeting reminiscence. A moment in time, in another moment, it'll be gone. Sadly, no contentment, but that's fine for now. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. We gain contentment, which we can use to clear our mind of that dread. A new acquaintance, Saliba. Saliba is a man of prodigious appetites. He is long past the point where the satisfaction has given him any pleasure, but he has learned so very much. Very nice. In time, we'll recruit him. But I think for now, we'll search for some more acquaintances. And who do we have here? Another hulking fellow. No luck thus far. Theoretically, a hulking fellow could also get rid of Mr. Alden for us, but it's very risky. I'd rather have someone more professional. Working overtime again? Of course, Mr. Alden. Of course. Find a patron. I found someone who may have resources of use to me, but I'll need to impress them. Impressing a patron demands our reason. We can learn from each other. Having a patron is useful, as they can give us contracts. Completing them will give us valuable resources. Another hulking fellow. It seems luck is not on our side right now. Let's dream up the wood again, shall we? And now that we have two eruditions, by exercising the mind, we can turn them into a lesson learned. Count Jannings. Count Gottlob Jannings represents a continental confraternity of physicians and duelists. He could use our assistance. And, as this denotes, he is a Latin scholar. He can teach us how to speak Latin, which would allow us to then translate this book here. Lord Franklin Bancroft Diaries. Because right now, we can't read them because they're written in Latin, and we don't speak it. Work. Continuing the search. I wonder if I use Wood Whisper instead. No, that can't get us further. So then Passion instead. Alright, slowly the board is clearing up and our position is becoming a bit more comfortable. The well in the wood is never dry, but it is never clear. One night it might heave with crawling roots, on another it will pulse with bright moss. On nights of the full moon, its waters are choked with the fat, dappled bodies of moths. Last night I saw it brimming with dark and viscous blood. Gelatinous shreds drifted on its surface, clots of grail matter. And we gain an awareness of appetite. Every sense heightened, every sensation deepened. An influence of the grail aspect. Second order. Grail, hunger, lust, the drowning waters. The principle of the grail honors both the birth and the feast. Sadly, that influence doesn't have much use for us at the moment, but oh well. There are worse things. Come now, Neville. I'm sure you can find what you're looking for. We're hoping that Neville will find... Who's this? Alright. A shifty woman again. Also not who we need. Are there really no other... hirelings you are able to find, Neville? Maybe we'll search with one of our other followers next. Perhaps that would be best, yes. More arduation. Yeah, we've grown ill again. But luckily we have funds to spare to purchase medicines. A cult scrap right here in the wood. I walked in the wood last night, and the scissors worked in the distance, and the furred things crammed my mouth and swarmed my ears, and I felt the old urge to drop to wolf fours and nose among the roots. But I remembered that I walk upright by day, and I know fire and steel and words, and at last I found where the velvet had concealed a secret on tree bark beneath moss. I read it then with the tips of my fingers, and I think I know that I could write it in full. An occult scrap. Secret histories are layered beneath the one we know, like notes in rare wine. This is a detail from one of those histories. With this scrap of knowledge, we can find locations in the capital. London, by another name. But for now, we'll use our explore tile for something else. Let me clear my throat 1 second. Ah, much better. Yes, I think that's a consequence of not streaming for a while. My voice isn't used to speaking this much anymore. Right, do we have anything else to dream of other than the wood? Not really, so sure, let's keep at it. And who have we found here? Ah, Sylvia, a new acquaintance. Sylvia lost her eye in the woods when she was 9 years old. Every year, at Candlemas, she returns to the place she buried it. This one might be useful, so let's recruit her, shall we? Into our cult, being the Towers of the Dove, an occult society dedicated to all that has been lost and what may yet return. We can use cults with the talk verb to recruit or promote followers, and to send them out on errands to gather resources. A believer can be promoted to a disciple. A few gifted disciples can be exalted even higher, to a condition of lethal silence. This one is ready. And now that we have Sylvia, we don't need to explore the city anymore, because she can do the same job a hireling could otherwise. So instead, why not explore more in the shop again? We have some spare funds, after all. Sylvia, a believer. Sylvia has detailed knowledge of roof ridges, of the river at low tide, of Irish whiskey, and of conjuring tricks. She is a follower of the moth aspect. I knew a man who captured moths in a bell jar. On nights like this, he would release them one by one to die in the candle. Moth is the wild and perilous principle of chaos and yearning. A believer, but a believer will not be enough. So, once again, a right to promote her. Disciple. More murder missions, which we can study. And we do little again. Luckily, as I said, we have funds at our disposal. This time. The Temple of the Wheel, why not? In the wood beyond the walls of the Mansus, a jagged rock rears like the petrified remains of a dancing giant. I trailed my hand along its flank, and over the ice signs and lichen and the crude graffiti of the lesser wood powers, and I felt the thrumming of the wheel which has passed. It has passed, but something continues. Yes, the wheel used to be one of the hours, one of the gods from stone, before it was usurped by the newer hours, and broken. But some of it still lingers on. We don't have any vitality, so we'll use funds to buy medicine. The medicine is dark and bitter as an estar. It would be easy to suspect I am being poisoned. And The difference between medicine and poison is onefold after all. The dose, nothing more, nothing less. Alright, we'll explore the bookshelf again. The book we found here is The Orchid Transfigurations, Volume 1, a 16th century alchemical fever dream, attributed to Robert Flood, frequently banned for the disturbing allure of its illustrations. This is the original Latin, so again, we'll have to translate it. My hope is we'll find some books that do not require translating soon. Speaking of which, we found something. The War of the Rhodes, 1415 to 1580, censored edition. Willis Ford described the War of the Rhodes, an event in history other than our own, in detail. But numerous pages have been removed. The name of the publisher is blacked out, and an anonymous slip stapled to the cover explains that Willis Ford has been excised. It seems the Suppression Bureau is hard at work, making our job a lot harder in turn. Oh well, we'll find a way to deal with them soon enough as well. Yes, I think we shall add librarians again. We can never have enough books, after all. And now, Sylvia is a disciple. Sylvia's favorite tactic is to smile and close her eye. It is remarkable how often her interlocutor will blurt out exactly what they are thinking. A disciple strong in the aspect of moth, which may be just what we need to get rid of a certain annoyance. One more lesson learned in Erudtion. How many do we need? 3. Alright. And our sickness is gone. Ah, look at that. We found 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 und 𝐰𝐞𝐫𝐞. 𝐤𝐞𝐫 und 𝐰𝐞𝐫's ausführliche Grammatik der griechischen Sprache, a Greek grammar, an essential weapon for a ferocious struggle with a challenging language. This book doesn't contain any forbidden secrets itself, but it contains the key to other books. This book will teach us how to learn Greek, which we can then use to translate other books. For example, this one, on what is contained by Silver, a bestiary by Pomander in Greek. Alright. We have our position at Glover and Glover here with a certain annoyance. That here is a thorn in my side. I may yet find a way to remove it. And here is our disciple, Sylvia. And with her, we can now deal with Mr. Alden, sending a devious minion to drive an annoyance insane. I want this irritation out of my way. This scheme will probably succeed, but if it fails, it will draw attention. Fingers crossed, and we'll hope for the best. That's about all we can do. the wood again, but I would like to keep the dream tile unoccupied for the moment. We may need it very soon. A collection of essays. If the mind is a blade, this is a whetstone. We can study this to gain an Erduition lesson learned. Much faster way, but of course, these books are a very limited resource. Bleak thoughts. Dark days. I must be careful not to let doubts creep in. Dread may provoke full-fledged despair. And dread we have. I've seen too much. An aimless, gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes. An existential horror. Yes, we'll have to find a way to deal with that despair. We can dream with our health. An early night, and with luck we'll awake refreshed. Sometimes this will provide contentment, which is what we need to get rid of that despair. Often it will do nothing. Occasionally, however, it will create dread or fascination. So this has a small chance to create more dread, which would be a problem, but there's a slightly bigger chance to create contentment, which we can then use to get rid of this dread. A balancing act, and always a little bit at the mercy of the hours. Arranging night terrors for an annoyance. I await word, bated breath and fingers crossed. If we're lucky, Mr. Alden will be no more in the morning, or at least in no condition to be a problem for us. And we can use this painting activity to preserve this Erduition ere it decay. What have we found here? The Viennese Conundra. Nino Vandriel describes odd events in Vienna, the disappearance of children, epidemics of parasite activity, animal mutilations, nightmares of worms, the activities of a charitable organization, the New Legions, that funds the burial of the poor. She proposes peculiar connections between these activities. Interesting. What could we explore next? The shop again, why not? We are running slightly low on funds, but if we're lucky, Mr. Alden will soon be no more, which gives us the opportunity to very much increase the amount of funds we can claim. My minion has returned. The annoyance is no longer capable of lucid speech, let alone capable of annoying me further. Very good. Mr. Alden is no more. Or, well, at least his mind, which is all the same to me. The man called Alden is gone. I may find matters easier when I return to work. Very nice. But, until we return to work, let's use this opportunity to, shall we say, go on a little sabbatical. Use our time elsewhere. Painting, working, perhaps doing some commissions for our patrons here, Dr. Ibn al-Adim and Count Jannings. painting. Still don't know what it does. Miss Nenia, a painting of a dark-skinned woman with snow-colored eyes and close-cropped ivory-colored hair. She stands before a small marble tomb overgrown with star jasmine. The painting is signed Jonas B. Munch, 1811. Speak to Miss Nenia. Miss Nenia waits in the patience that is the patience of images. We can use memories to speak with her. Miss Nenia never speaks to me, she's only painting. But afterwards, I always remember what she has said. Interesting. Alright then, so we'll need a memory to speak to her. Oh, look at that. Guardside Sanskrit Reader, a lucid book which outlines a careful path through the thickets of a vast and complex language. With this we can eventually learn Sanskrit, but currently there's no need as we only have books in Latin and Greek. More lessons learned in Eruditution. Aha! A fleeting reminiscence, just the memory we needed. Share my recollections with Miss Nenia. So, what else fits in here? A memory? And what is this? Aspect. The Elegiast's price. I always struggle with that name. The Elegiast is the hour from whom nothing more can be taken, and the hour who calls each of the dead by name. Once in a long ever, for a great price, we will call one of the dead up out of nowhere, that they may continue, lonely, unscathed, until the date of their own final winter. Interesting. I suspect that'll be something we'll find later down the road. But for now, we'll share our recollections with Miss Nenia. Her eyes are thoughtful. Let's call it an early night again. Maybe we're lucky and we'll gain some contentment. Oh, never mind. Painting gave us contentment all the same. So what else could we work on? What else? A hardened physique to improve our vitality. Why not? Now we find others. A bomb maker. Perhaps we shouldn't discuss politics just yet. This hireling may be useful for some expeditions and can help with hunters and annoyances. Forge. I don't think we have much of a need for them right now. Miss Nenia acknowledges that all will pass, even memory, but that memory can be passed like a torch or a treasure, and we gain restlessness. Great. Let's talk to her again, with the restlessness. Seeking consolation from Miss Nenia. Miss Nenia's eyes are kind. Let's see what this gives us. Blast. The lesson learned has decayed. Damn it. Yes, it's a fickle dance, trying to balance. creating new Erduition and keeping the old one from decaying to amass enough to increase our reason. And this time, she understands my restlessness. She has known it herself now and then. She reminds me that nothing endures, and we gain a fleeting reminiscence. Alright. Does a fleeting reminiscence always give us restlessness? Let's find out. Dream. What could we dream of? Why not dream of the weekend? Perusing New Orleans shop, though we are running slightly low on funds, so we'll have to find something else to do soon enough. Restlessness again. Alright. I'll give it one more try. If it still gives me restlessness, then it's probably all that can be cleaned that way. A new book, The Humors of a Gentleman. Samuel Savage's satirical comedy on the intrigues of the ailing but cunning John Sonne, his mistress Mavelyn, her lover Leo, and the upstart Corvino. Interesting. We'll read it when we find the time, eventually. For now, let's seek out secret places in the city. There are places in the city where I can find extraordinary things, if I can sift the clues out of history and rumor. Alright, we're almost on the cusp of having 3 lessons learned in Erduition. Very nice. What will this yield us? Ah, another appetite. Oh well. Okay, so that can only give us restlessness. How do we gain more interesting memories? Perhaps we'll need to use dread. Let's see here. Meanwhile... Yes, let's talk to our patrons. See what they want. Get a commission from Dr. Al-Adim. The doctor would like my help with his research. And we have a commission. A very substantial study of secret histories. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can fulfill that at the moment. So let's talk to Count Jannings instead. Maybe he'll have a more manageable commission. What has he for us? Very substantial in heart. Alright. Neither of, both of those are, I fear, for now out of our reach. Dread. Dread is also a memory. What happens if we talk of it to Miss Nania? Should I really share my fears with her? I do not think that she is a kindly painting. Not exactly. Let's see. Yeah. We found the St. Agnes Hospital. They did good work here. Once. Certainly there were a few too many amputations, but there are individuals who would prefer not to walk. Individuals one would prefer not to walk the city streets. Interesting. We could embark on an expedition. Though I think for that, we need a bit more manpower. So we'll wait until Leo here is one of ours. I'm curious what happens if you speak of our dread. Ah, and now finally, 3 lessons learned in Erduition. Exercise the mind, wisest. The longer I look at 𝐼𝐶𝐞𝐫𝐞 smile, the more I am conscious of her teeth. Oh, great, that doubles the dread, and not much else. Wonderful. Then perhaps a visit to the 𝐤𝐸𝐶𝐷𝐸𝐶 Club will cheer us up. Yes, contentment. And fascination. Light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than it ever was. The higher I rise, the more I see. Fascination is also a card of ill health. Much the same as dread. If we enter a season of visions and accrue 3 fascination cards, the result is functionally the same as if we had done the same with dread cards. But fascination can be quelled with dread. Though at the same time, fascination is also a memory. I wonder if I use it to speak with 𝐼𝐶𝐞𝐫𝐞, what will happen then? Alright, next to work on. We could paint. We could work on our physique, why not? 𝐼𝐶𝐞𝐫𝐞 acknowledges that all will pass, even memory, but that memory can be passed like a torch or a treasure. And again, we're saddled with restlessness. How do we get more interesting memories? I don't know. I don't know. No, this won't do. Or maybe it will. Let's see. Oh, right. I still haven't used that fascination. Ah. And we've gained a profound scholarship. My skull creaks at the corners with the knowledge I've accrued. And now we would need 4 lessons learned to gain more reason. I think we'll hold off on that for now. 4 reason for now is plenty. So instead, let's study some of these books. When the individual K attends the meeting, black dogs are sacrificed and quartered. When the individual M is in attendance, black mares are found with their throats slashed. I propose that these sacrifices are not necessary, but that our Lygian friends may consider them fitting. Here with the diagrams of the mutilations. A bit grim, but such things are to be expected. Dice is clubbed, hopefully gain some more contentment. Or, yeah, we'll need it. Intuition and contentment, very good. Contentment to rid us of this dread. Else would there be? Well, we could uncover sites in the shires that feature in the histories. Odd nooks remain in the quiet countryside, here and there, for those who know where to look. Now we go a bit further from the capital, to the shires, with the fruit of truth, a detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak this, or you may be overheard. I'm waiting for this talk to be completed, so that we may try to use fascination to talk with Miss Nenya. It's about the last lead I have left, to be entirely honest. After that, I don't quite know how to progress in this run. Medusa's riddle, then, I choose to render as, what is not seen? There is another riddle, one I have heard rendered as, what may be lost? I will delineate some historic attempts to answer it. These are in themselves, in some sense, sacrifices. We have learned an ecdysiast's parable. The ecdysiast's riddle is, what may be lost? Each ecdysiast's parable is an attempt to answer the riddle. We're gaining quite a bit of moth lore. Pretty useful, but some other lore would also not be bad. So let's try this one then, The Humors of a Gentleman. By the end of the first act, Mavelin has revealed a secret door in the walls of the house to Leo, and Corvino has taken to consuming worms. Sounds like an interesting play. I can't let this fascination decay, I need it. Though I think we have enough time. We have found Crocus Hill. The ancient tribes reserved this resting place for one who, by the end, in service to a certain merciless hour, was more scar than man. They sealed the entrance with binding songs and mortared blood. Another potential exploration site for us. Let memory guide our steps. My thoughts will wander and I will follow. Old emotions will come to roost. Alright, what's next in the season? Another ambition season. Interesting. Okay. What else can we work on? Hardened physique. Oh, hi there, 𝐿𝐴𝐶. Yes, to be fair, I've started this playthrough for, a while ago and then not played for a long while, so I currently still trying to remember, how this one plays. Right now, I am a little stuck, but I'm sure it'll resolve soon enough. I've played all of the base game Origins and Advanced Origins, but the DLC ones are still new to me, so for once in this game I don't quite know anymore what to do. Ah, Elridge. An elegant man of inelegant habits. He might be quite useful down the line. We should probably organize these followers. Start with winter, work our way back. So heart turns to forge, turns to... no. Oh god, I've completely forgotten how the subversion cycle goes. Lantern goes to moth, that much I remember. Moth goes to grail. Grail goes to heart. Or does it? No, wait, the other way around. Moth to lantern. Grail to moth. Heart to grail. Ah, yes, exactly. And then... winter... to... heart, edge to winter. Yeah, I've, I mean, I don't know if I've heard, but at least from, like, the, impression I've gotten, Exile does look a fair bit more challenging, than the other ones, definitely more different. So yeah, I'll probably play that one on my own time. After I finish this run of the medium, I plan to skip over to Book of Hours, the sequel, which I did buy back at launch, but thus far I've been savoring it. To play it for the first time on stream, so I am very much looking forward to that. Now, finally, we have the opportunity. Speak to Miss Nenya of my visions. Is it safe to speak this to her? Well, let's find out. If this doesn't produce a new kind of memory, then I don't know. Oh, damn it, I forgot to read what that book said, but we have gained a watchman's secret. It has been expressed like this. Each hour has its color, but color exists only where there is light. And we can now... Interesting. I mean... Oh, also, thank you for the follow, Coats. I mean... Technically, I would say the entire game is a roguelike, in a sense, but, interesting. I'll definitely have to check that one out. Probably after the other ones, though. Now, where were we? Ah, right. We have gained a Watchman's secret. It has been expressed like this. Each hour has its color, but color exists only where there is light. Aspect of lantern. Life is a pure flame, and we live by an invisible sun within us. Thomas Brown. Lantern is the principle of the secret place sometimes called the House of the Sun, and of the light above it. So now, we can take the lore of the moth and subvert it with lantern. The glory is a question, and the moth always answers yes. The wary detective. Ah, good old wary detective. I think... No, for now let's keep exploring. More than safe and slow. Light here is brighter than I had realized. Colors swim beneath Miss Nenia's skin like electricity, like oil. It is very hard to look away. Alright, this only doubles my fascination. So, how do I gain better memories? More interesting memories. I know one way is to begin a relationship, but I wonder if the medium has other ways to do it. For now, best to get rid of these. Another heart follower. Into the night. Wisdom is a country, and these are its maps. We have Erdovision at the ready. Good. Ah, The Locksmith's Dream. Portions and Proportions. The second volume of Theresa Gelmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. To our reading list, so to speak. We are getting quite a bit of restlessness. Ah. We weren't quick enough, and now we have despair. Oh well. Leo, a believer. Leo is an earnest sort, but he's prepared to do what he must. And from believer to disciple. Now, what could we dream of? That fascination, once this restlessness decays into dread. Composure. The door of visions swing wide, a little darkness will mellow my light. Even dread has its uses. Oh no, oh damn it. I waited too long and now the Erdwition is gone. And of course, our hiding place does not have a library. Ah, drat. Balked. My studies have been stymied, for now. We're also running quite low on funds. Despair pads close at my heels. The world is leached of light. You can defeat despair by feeding it contentment, otherwise it will destroy you when it reaches 3 dread. Not good, not good, not good. But we have a few means of gaining contentment. If we do all of them at once, hopefully some of them will work in our favor. Yeah, look at that. Contentment. And that is also... Although... No, let us not visit the 𝐸𝐸𝐶𝐞𝐫𝐞. Not for now. And now, what can we do otherwise? Of course, speaking of esoteric matters... Sure, why not? And yet more contentment. Very good, very good. If only... I remembered how to regain more interesting memories. Not through this, no. Alright, one contentment down. Perhaps we'll be able to reserve this one in time. Or we can just explore the streets again. Now let's try this again, and this time let us not lose sight of this Erdwition. Alright. Passion. Restlessness. A patron. Very nice. can we do? Recipe of honey, asphodel, powdered ivory, and a mottled fungus that grows only where the dead are buried. I suspect I'll need to use this in a rite to create the elixir. But for that I'll need to get a rite. This time we have the Arduition we need. This is a puzzle with missing pieces. I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. And what else do we have here? Alright, we did find a new patron. 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 edits the 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 Review, which publishes material too ghastly or thrilling for other literary magazines. She could use your assistance. Our assistance. A commission. A commission in law. Now that we can fulfill. Aha! There it is. Is that it? The knowledge challenge resolved. And now, all we need is intuition, glimmering, which we have, luckily. More restlessness. It would be quite useful to have some winter lore, that way I could more easily get rid of this restlessness, but alas. Intuition. We provide the glimmering. And now, we should be able to get some brighter illumination of the moth. And with it, or the lantern rather, and with it, entry further into the Mansus. Writing a brief treatise on the moth. This may be useful for a commission. 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 is seeking suitable articles for the 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 Review. In particular, she wants something suitably intriguing about the principle called moth. So let us work our first commission. Fascination. Not great, not great. Yeah, what the hell, let's visit the 𝐸 Club. Oh. A season of vision and despair at once. Great. Wonderful. I must say, this run has not exactly been marked by luck, but that may also just be because I'm less sure of what to do than usual. Mission fulfilled. Let's get our reward. Now I understand. And we have some iron 𝐿𝐴𝐴. Initiates into the hidden world use 𝐿𝐴𝐴 to pay for services. Iron 𝐿𝐴𝐴 are the lowest denomination and display scenes of murder on their reverse side. The light above. The glory is a question, and the moth always answers. Yes, I've subverted my moth lore to lantern. A mansus glimpse. A snatch of poetry, a single memory of a certain house that all of us visit at least twice in our lives. For one's first visit to the mansus, this lore is almost essential. So now then, shall we visit? The way to the wood. If I have enough passion, I can walk the dream road to the wood. If I have the right knowledge, I might be able to find the way beyond it. Approaching the white door. There's a house in the wood. I know something of that house. Enough to find my way to its light. Alright, talk. What could we talk of? Attracting some more followers. That's always wise. Ill health. And now, what to study, what to study? I think we'll turn to The War of the Roads, 1415 to 1518 censored edition. Although, actually, I have changed my mind. Let's read 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞. 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞's ausführliche Grammatik der griechischen Sprache. A Greek grammar, an essential weapon for ferocious struggle with a difficult language. Of course, I have a little Greek already, but I'll need more than a little. Oh, 1 second, let me quench my thirst. Ah, that's better. Alright, one less despair to worry about. And this should also take care of itself. A light in the skull. Dusty facts have come clear in my brain. For now, please. Some more erudition. Much appreciated. Alright, one less despair, but it's still active. And we're all also once more at the brink of bankruptcy. Yes, I think it's time to return to Glover & Glover. The office crackles with the news of Alden's unexpected absence. A scrawny, nervous fellow from the 4th floor has been appointed supervisor of records, temporary. Unlike Alden, he does not interfere with my work. Very good. Some glimmering, not quite what I need. Let me move this down here instead. Approaching the white door. There are bounds about the house, with their mists and their traces. This is the rock called the Temple of the Wheel. high as a church spire, patched with black lichen and daubed with eye signs. I round it, and there ahead of me is the white door. The light of the house leaks around its edges. We found our way inside the white door. In my dreams, I've passed the white door, which has been called the bone door and the gate of ivory. My voice remains outside at the house each time I enter. That path is thronged with the dead who pass that way. I'll need health to resist that chill. Health we do have in ample supply, luckily. Sickness, luckily we have just what we need. Vitality. A determined and distinctive tongue, but I have the measure of it. We are now a scholar of Greek. No doubt you're conversant with every variety of Greek, from the beginning to Byzantium. But it's a good thing you have those reference works. Some books must be translated before they can be read. But before we do any of that, I think... Although, I think improving our heart can wait a bit, so yes, let's get to translating this work on what is contained by Silver, a bestiary by Pomander in Greek. Lock the study door, the work begins. Ah, finally. A last bit of contentment. Oh, and we've gained fascination. The next season is one of notorious suspicion, so we should be fine. For now. What to explore? I forget the truth. Why not? Position at Glover and Glover. I earn a little more, I stay a little later. Envy glints in the eye of the junior clerk who occupies my old desk. Diligence. The work is more demanding now, but better paid. And devotion. Extra hours at Glover and Glover. Maybe it will be noticed. Bichette is ready again. Ah, and through the white door we pass. We can stay here, the Orchard of Lights, or go to the Lodge of the Sage Knight. We'll go through to the last of the three, I think, and find yet more fascination, it seems. The white door opens. Last night, in the billowing blue of the Lodge of the Sage Knight, I sat on velvet cushions and watched the two dead contend with shining swords. They came with the place, said the woman who rules here now, the one who once called herself 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞. I was not the Sage Knight, if that's what you're wondering. He went higher in the manses long before I came here. My attention has drifted, the swords sparkle like falling water, the dead move like dancers, and we awake with yet more fascination, which we should deal with pretty quickly. I'll get rid of this fascination now, and the one after that, after we've cured our ailment. Ah, and a new acquaintance, Enid. She speaks softly, and sometimes her gaze doesn't focus on anything visible. It may be that you've dreamed the same dreams. Alright, like this. Forge commission. I can work on that. In due time. I've prepared the text for study on what is contained by silver. A dire bestiary of the horrors to be found in mirrors. This is a recent edition of a 3rd century text by Pomander. Very well. Lockwood Fen, we have discovered. The reeking murk of the fenlands is ripe with fruit of life. Taciturn locals watch the sacred places of the small and secret gods, the ones that answer prayers. I think... what to explore next, what to talk next. So many options, and yet I'm not entirely certain. We don't really have the funds for an expedition. Who could we talk to? Let's leave them empty for now, until we have some more resources to use there. The younger Glover has taken me out for lunch at his club. I am to do more of the things that I do more carefully, and in return, he will give me a little more of the money I earn for his father. We're better paid now. Very nice. My job is demanding. I'll need to devote some reason to it. Curl my hands into the correct shapes and begin. And I think this is a good opportunity to begin an exploration. St. Agnes Hospital. Only echoes walk the hospital halls now, but malice lingers in the air. We must search meticulously, room by room. Expeditions need at least 1 funds per obstacle. Followers will defeat obstacles. If you run out of funds or followers, the expedition ends. Alright, that's one of the fascinations down. And now we'll heal our health. What's next? Season of Winter. That's fine. Then let us use this time to search for yet more acquaintances. The virgins, or maidens of the mirror, favor orchids. The behindlings favor the rhododendron. Cut flowers of either nature should not be placed before polished bronze. An appendix contains a rite which might be used to summon some of these entities, although the details of its use are not made clear. Ah, the rite of the watchman's sorrow and a mance's glimpse. This rite recalls the loss of the watchman who walks the house which has no walls. Light goes before him and shadow behind. He must not see you. The instrument of power is used to summon him to take his sacrifice. Precious knowledge from the root of your thoughts. The assistant must speak the words that anchor your sanity, so choose someone you trust. We have our first rite. Very good. It's not exactly the one I favor the most, but it's better than nothing. So, what to study next? The Locksmith's Dream. Portions and Proportions. In this volume, 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐞 records fever dreams and explicates more of her own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. For as they say, as above, so below. The old adage of the alchemists. The expedition continues. We have to contend with the dry soul curse. Heart or lantern, and we have 10 heart, so fingers crossed. The dry soul curse. The treasures ahead lie under a dry soul curse. Without lantern or heart, it may follow us back home and desiccate the spirit. We call upon the ring-yu, who is renewed. We are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against the cures. Yes, almost entirely. That's the part that worries me. Let's dream again of the white door. Now I can approach the white door through the bounds. Now I can press my fingers to it, feel its chill, watch it swing open. As it opens, my mouth closes, tightens, heals over like a lost deformity. Around and about me is the cobalt light of the mansis. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I'm no artisan, only a scholar. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know, but I think that secret is only half the story. Erudtion and a locksmith's secret. Sooner or later, every locksmith has the dream. Now we recite. Its 7 passes. Nearly every summoning rite requires knock influence. This lore was provided. Alright, what to study next? The War of the Roads. In this past, a score or more of longs were made. They brokered peace with the Forge of Days long enough to set England on a path of early conquest and eventual destruction. The Forge itself devoured the greatest among them. The curse shrivels. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. And I am a relief. And now treasures lie before us. Very good. The white door, a fruited tree. Many of the dead enter the manses through the white door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, some force their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mansis stone where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night, I read one of those memories. One more fruit of truth. And let's dream of the mansis once again. Of the white door. This time, all we find is a hanger-on. But not to be discouraged. I think... Wait. Let me think. Yes, I think we can recruit Elridge. That would be quite useful. violet chamber. What was this place? The door bore no sign. There were no windows. The walls were painted as a rich violet, rich even now after the ravages of rain through the leaking ceiling. A rotting chair has leather straps on the arms. The floor is porcelain. And Ronald. The royalty of England, according to Willis Ford, became the sovereigns of the leashed flame, destroying or transforming their enemies, conquering Europe, establishing grand cathedrals to Saint Spark. The alliance with Forge begins to take its toll. The last few chapters are missing entirely. We gain yet another fruit of truth. And one of them, I think, I'll break up to its fundamentals. Elrich is now a believer. Elrich has almost learned not to pick his teeth with his knife in conversation. He has not yet learned to leave his knife in his boot. Had to take another sip of water there. We return to the lodge of Sage Knight. The white door opens. Last night, in the great pavilion above the grey sprawl of the Bounds, a woman who once called herself Teresa Galmier sat on gilt-fringed cushions and offered me a horn cup of dream wine. The wine is imaginary, she explained. But the cup is not. To navigate the Mansus, one must understand the distinction. Perhaps one day you'll join me on the pilgrimage, or I'll join you. So here, let us share a secret. And her breath tickled my ear. A subtle fracture, clouds part, walls creak, old wounds ache. This might be quite useful for summoning. There's a padlocked cupboard in the wall. It does not long resist our strength. It contains instruments one would not expect a surgeon to use. It contains other matters of more interest to us too. The Locksmith's Dream, Volume 3, Trespasses, the third volume of Teresa Galmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. Speaking of Teresa Galmier, we just spoke with the author, so I guess it's only fitting that we now read her work. And we have the empty hospital. Phantoms, the neighbors say, still walk the echoing halls here. If we take possession, of course, they will leave, or we'll turn them to our use. Alright. And stained gloves. What uses have these known? What lessons might they teach my hand? And rose pearl dust. Pearls are sacred to the witch and sister, especially those of this color. They've been used in protective rites, among others. And the rose of Hypatia, marked with the triple sign of the arcane contemplative order known as the Sisterhood of the Knot, in Greek. Alright. Though unfortunately, at this juncture, I'm afraid my time for today has run out. I'll try to stream again tomorrow, though I'm not sure if I can make any promises. So, until then, let us save and exit. I have once more been very pleased to act as your host. Thank you all for viewing this, and I wish you safe travels at night.